They deal a lot of damage.
Oh no.
Hold your breath. Can they get it done?
No.
What?
No. Oh, I'm so sorry, Nick.
Heartbreaker for
And, well, we have the first attack on our way, and they're sticking. They're sticking to their legend-style bases, who we have Alternate and SpaceStation already showing their hands, their cards, what they're going to do in this tournament. And now it's up to Serial to showcase how those dragons are working against those anti-2-star legend bases.
Certainly wouldn't expect to see the same bases once again at the World Championship stage, but I guess if it ain't broke, then there's no need to fix it. Now, Serial Killer was one of the players that picked up a 3-star for his team earlier on, and he is looking to continue that momentum into a really difficult fight now. I think that the big story for SpaceStation Gaming is that they have reformed as now an international squad, picking up, as you mentioned, Lexnos and Marinol, finding support now from around the entire world, and basically building a super group of incredibly talented players. They earned that #1 seed spot, and they are going to hold on to it with everything that they've got, hoping beyond hope that they can once again pull off a defensive victory, even though theoretically Marcos Gaming might have already seen this base before.
And this is a new base, but the funny thing is I think Lex has not the 6th builder, because there's a hole in the base on the left side, on the 9 o'clock side, and that's kind of funny. But let's see how those dragons are getting through that tunnel. The clan caster, though, is getting lured, and it's freezing up those dragons. That is taking forever to get to that, and now it's all about the tunnel. Now it's all about the tunnel and the poison. We saw already a dragon attack, and those dragons are they're just getting melted in that poison. But the Nader trap is actually rotating the dragons outside the poison. This so far is looking really, really promising, Woody. And Serial is pushing in with the Royal Champion on the back end.
I was feeling a bit leery about that slowdown as they approach the town hall, but really great protection with that Grand Warden, who's taken a beating but is still standing, or rather I guess floating, flapping along with that parrot on his shoulder and protecting all of these dragons throughout. Incredible firepower. It's just really one air defense to give them trouble on the back end, but nothing that these dragons cannot handle, and especially with a Royal Champion basically swagging her ability at the very end here, not even using it on defensive structures. Serial Killer has found the magic combination to get this base finished off and find that 3-star start for Marcos Gaming, the Ascendant squad from India, an incredible clan that has, as I mentioned time and before, upset against really strong opponents. Will SpaceStation Gaming be able to take this one in stride and keep back striking for more? We're going to see a quick look at the replay there right as Serial Killer made his way into the center of the base with virtually all the big defensive targets already down. Mass Drags picking up another victory there, Itsu, and showing that this strat can still deliver those triples.
Yeah, I think it's actually a really powerful strategy for Legend League, for example, and that was showcased perfectly in this attack versus Lex. And now it's interesting to see how do they answer. Agent is coming in, and it seems like Marcos is keep going with their anti-3-star style of base. We have seen now different styles, different approaches to the base building of those teams, which I feel like is super cool to see. The preference of those teams going anti-3, going anti-2, going like different approaches, different routes. And that, in my opinion, is one of the coolest things about Town Hall 14, because we have not seen things like this so far on competitive levels, so far on the other Town Hall levels. We always have seen, most of the time, those anti-3-star type bases. But this time around is getting getting mixed up a little bit. Agent is pushing in with his queen for that Town Hall to take that down. And then, yeah, getting into the base with another dragon attack. But this time around, Woody, it's going to be with bats.
Undeterred even by the skeleton traps that popped out of that town hall, the Archer Queen finishes off her key target, and we are already underway with the main phase of the attack. Agent 33 is going to waste no time at all with that quick strike from the Queen, as it's already got his dragons on task. He's backing them up with just a single rage spell, but the big component here is the drag bat combo. 7 bat spells ready to drop as soon as those splash damage structures go down. Multi-target Infernos and Wizard Towers can be the end of a bat attack really quickly, but if the dragons can finish those off, or if Agent can get the free spell down, he will be cleared for landing, seeking that triple to start things off for his squad and keep them going toe-to-toe against a Marcos Gaming team that has already picked up a victory today. It's looking like the rest of this attack is now kind of cruising along toward the bottom edge of the map. Not necessarily good news, as Agent has left a middle multi-target Inferno still standing, with builders repairing it back up to full. That could cause some problems later on if the Dragons don't pass toward the core.
Yeah, and the bats now have to... Oh no, the red mine! The red mine took every single bat out in this armor composition. But hey, on the back end, there are only a couple of expos. The Royal Gem is already placed in there as well. The invisibility spell is keeping the Royal Gem alive. Did he make it? Did he somehow get the comeback? And even though he lost all of the bats, so this one red mine, the ground expo is taking down first. The air expo is still shooting, taking down, or damaging at least, those dragons left and right. Time should be no issue whatsoever, and with only one Tesla alive, this should be a 3-star. Agent has done it. He has done it. Even though the bats died, he's making this work, and that was a really impressive attack. And this is showcasing why exactly SpaceStation is your #1 seed team of this pre-qualifier. And this, yet again, the queen trade of versus the Town Hall, taking down the Town Hall early, and then the Dragons, even though... Yeah, the Dragons were kind of trolling a little bit with skipping that multi-inferno tower, but no problem whatsoever. Agent, everything controlled, everything calculated, I would say.
Virtually throwing away half of his spell storage space to bats that got killed by an air bomb very quickly after deployment. Nonetheless, the Dragons and balloons out in front had such an overwhelming drop on that base that it didn't even matter. A triple once again from SpaceStation to keep them going toe-to-toe. But let's swoop back in with Drag from Lexnos Gaming. You've seen Dragons before. Well, let's see him again. Electro Dragons this time from this 3-star striker. Remember, he used a Skelly Donut Lalo attack last time, but this time he's going to be going a bit more typical against a big old boxy base spread out to the big far corners. Usually these Electro Dragons, you see them get maximum value by being able to get that chain lightning strike onto multiple targets. I'm guessing that he's trying to set up the funnel for an attack from the bottom right corner to just sweep on through the entirety of the base. A pretty risky strat with the Town Hall so far back, but with multi-target Infernos to face him on the top left side at the very end, will it be able to go the distance it's to?
That's a good question. I feel like you can never say that with Electro Dragons. It's so hard to tell. And the reason why he's going with those Electro Dragons is because the center is so compact. It's incredible. Take a look at all of those expos. As soon as he's reaching that, he can deal a ton of damage to that. And especially, I think, Electro Dragons right now in the current meta versus those under 2-star bases, they are just so incredibly strong. So let's see if he can push through. The Town of Poison so far has been active, but take a look at the Electro Dragon chains. Take a look at those chains taking down all of the expos, making them invisible now. But those dragons are dropping kind of quick with the back end Tesla form and the enemy heroes, and missing the invisibility spell, I think, as well. Oh no, I was looking forward to those incredible bounces of those Electro Dragon chains, but instead, those Electro Dragons are not going anywhere.
I think a lot of attackers discount the defensive power of a multi-target Inferno. When they send in big troops like Pekkas or Electro Dragons, they just figure that the multi-target Inferno will go down eventually on the back end. It can't really burst through their attack, but it is just such an incredible, oppressive, defensive firehouse that I think ultimately that is what saved Agent 33's base and will give SpaceStation the upper hand now with their defensive pickup. A Dragon along the outer edge for Drag will be able to claim a few more structures. It's looking pretty healthy, so it should be able to push into the mid-80s, but ultimately this is going to be an attack fail for Lexnos Gaming and an opening now for SpaceStation to take the upper hand.
Yeah, take the upper hand, but this attack was not how they planned things to be. Drag is falling short against this anti-2-star style of base, and as we already said earlier, if you're failing, the fail is not going to be as high on percentage. I feel like on those under 3-star bases, it's kind of often that you have like a high 90%-ish attack. But on those under 2-star bases, we just see 84, and he's fighting for every single building and percentage. 85, I think, is going to be the final number. And this is, well, a really good defense, I think, with for SpaceStation. I think they're going to be happy with that. And this E-Dragon attack did not work out. I was hoping for seeing like a OP E-Dragon attacks. I feel like right now, if you want to pick up an kind of easy strategy for Legends League, for example. E-Dragons are your thing. They're just so incredibly powerful, especially because most of the players in this tournament are choosing the ground exploits because they want to keep those heroes on offense under control. We can see the Electro Dragon army composition with the invisibility spell as well. And now it's up to SpaceStation. They can now get the lead in this match already, the second attack into it. And Woody, what do you think? Is SpaceStation going to get the lead?
I think that they will, man. You know, they might have missed qualification last year, but they have done a lot of work this year on rebuilding, restructuring for maximum efficiency. And with that #1 seed spot, you got to respect the performance that they put into the pre-qualifier. They already got to buy into the second round here of this bracket, and they are not going to waste it at all. Marinol is the next attacker. Brazilian juggernaut and a content creator in his own right. He's got a huge fan base here to cheer him on to this victory lap, sending in the mass drags. He's also got those bat spells ready to back it up, and hopefully for his sake we can say that they can do a bit more damage than the last mass drag bat combo did. But nonetheless, I think that he's got a good start here with the town hall already down. He's thrown away the heroes, but they've done a good enough job to justify that investment, and now it's all about spell placement to back up the big dragon army moving through the top.
Yeah, and this time around, hopefully that he's not losing those bats that early on versus the red mine. The multi-inferno tower needs to drop inside the core of that base, taking down otherwise those bats. The multi-inferno tower is a big threat to that. But the eagle is staying up for so long, and the eagle is such a big threat to the dragons because the eagle shots are doing so much damage. And now we have the freeze onto the eagle, onto the wizard tower. Another freeze, perfect timing right there. And we have the bats making slowly their way through those buildings, but another freeze is needed for the multi-inferno tower. And this is not looking too good, I want to say, but then I forgot about the Royal Champ. So the Royal Champ is on that back end. The bats are getting fried by this multi-inferno tower. And now it's up to the dragons and the Royal Champion to finish off this base, Woody.
And they've got a solid chance of doing it. Still plenty of time left as we tick past into the final minute here, but multi-target Inferno is heating up, and oh my goodness, right when I thought that those dragons had this bottom compartment easily cleared, it turns out that my past predictions about multi-target Infernos have come true once again, and traps aplenty exploding right in these dragons' faces. I thought they had a solid effort here, but it's just up to the Electro Owl backing up his Grand Warden now to try to finally get through as many buildings on the backside as possible. The dragons finished off, though, are going to be the end of this hit. Unfortunately, it just kind of seemed to evaporate. There were like 5 dragons on board, and then all of a sudden, they were gone.
Yeah, but this is exactly what I was talking about with the anti-3-star style and anti-2-star style. This is a fail, yes, but it's going to be in the high 90%. Like this Warden is picking off so many buildings, 94% now he has collected already. And this means SpaceStation with a way higher percentage going into this going into the third attack of this match. Marinol is getting the 94%, and that I think they're not going to be that happy, but at the same time they're going to be happy that they're still in the lead. And well, now it's up to Lexnos Gaming yet again to get the lead back to them. Get in the lead and, well, make sure that those anti-2-star bases, because that will be my prediction, that SpaceStation are going to use or keep using the same as alternate anti-2-star base, because they have done an amazing job so far for them in this overall qualifier. And, well, we can see the post-attack stats of the drag bat, which sadly did not work out. And now it's yet again back to Marcos, Woody.
Well, let's see how things go for 11. He is the highest hit rate of any player on this squad from the pre-qualifiers, having picked up 7 triples out of the 12 attacks that they had to do. Keep in mind, Lexnos Gaming is the only team that qualified for the Season 1 finals here in this World Championship that had to go through that first day of competition. So they have really run the gauntlet and faced off against a ton of extremely impressive plans, including Team Elevate, as we mentioned before, having defeated Batang twice, going up against Tribe Gaming and the Unicorns of Love. Do not count them out, even though they may be down relative to SpaceStation. It's not that big of a deficit that they cannot make it up. They are starting off with a big hero strike into the top corner, taking out that Eagle artillery early on and luring out the clan castle as well. Good moves here from 11 and kind of just playing straight by the book as he drops that poison to grab that hound and a few of the pups along the top side here. Big damage kind of coming in now against those heroes, but the healers ought to have enough healing power to keep them up and healthy without having to use that ability early on. And it does indeed look like 11 is now ready and poised to get the main stage of this hit going in strong. Witch is cruising through the bottom edge to support the rest of this push, Itsu.
Yeah, and there we go with the jump spin into the core. That is kind of scary because, as we already saw, if those Pekka make it into the Town of Poison, that is not a good time for them. The multi-inferno tower in combination with the Town Hall beams are dealing a ton of damage, even to those Pekka, for example. The Queen now inside that poison, making everything invisible, but there's the Nado rotating the Queen outside of that spell again and showing that Queen to all of those multi-inferno towers. The Queen and the healers are getting fried by those multi-inferno towers, dealing so much damage. The Royal Champion at the top side, though, can he still make this? We saw already a ton of times where the Royal Champion was being the MVP. The King tanking the bottom side. The Wizards and the Witches are doing a great job. Woody, I think it's looking good.
He's still got a strong chance here, despite having lost the Archer Queen. 11 knew he had to pop that Archer Queen ability right when it mattered most to finish off those key defensive structures right there in the core. And yeah, just like you mentioned, it looks like they've got it done. Joining in those two last heroes on the outer edges, the Barbarian King and Royal Champion still looking plenty healthy. And with all the time in the world, the last gold storage goes down and Lexnos Gaming have pulled back ahead. A triple gets them all the way up to 8 stars and now really forces SpaceStation to have to hunker down and keep pace against a strong comeback.
Yeah, and I think already those two teams faced, I think, already in the pre-qualifier, and it was a really, really close match because now the pressure is back to SpaceStation. They are normally used to their defense holding strong. Their defense was incredibly good over the pre-qualifier, but this time around, Lexnos Gaming is 2 out of 3, even though SpaceStation might lead in percentage if they're 3-star. But first, I mean, they have to 3-star first. That's not as easy as it sounds. And we have Nick coming in, and that's going to be, get ready. I have to spoil this already, but get ready for a crazy hero dive. He's bringing a golem, a lock launcher, and he's going to invest everything. He is known for using his warden as well for his heroes. He is just incredible with those hero dives. So let's see if he can show this off and make sure that he's getting the 3-star for his team. First wall break, golem in there. And then the Queen in as well. The funnel is set to make sure the Queen is getting pushed into that Eagle. And there's that lock launcher. But so far, I'm kind of happy about that, to be honest, because I feel like it might be a little bit risky. No Warden for this hero dive. Only a Golem, a lock launcher, King and Queen. And the Royal Champion is going to be placed really soon for the multi-inferno tower on the left side, I think, as well.
Not the first golem we've seen today, but certainly a rare sight. That is the first log launcher that I think we have seen, and wow, Nick is actually getting great value out of it. The question that remains for me, though, is what is inside that log launcher that's going to support this Archer Queen push? Nice, he's got ice golems in there that's going to be able to give some more coverage out in front and freeze defenses right when he needs them most. That Archer Queen has got no healing support whatsoever, so it's all about the tanking out in front to try to keep her up. Excuse me, there's a unicorn helping her out, but there's no healers high in the sky. She is just getting by with what little she has left, but it's been a great hit so far, Itsu.
It is incredible to see how Nick is actually making use of those heroes. It is just insane. A lot of pros said when Tower 14 came out, heroes and pets, they're just too strong, too OP. And now we have the Lalo getting started. And this Lalo is super risky because the town is on the back end and there is no blimp, no siege machine to save this. But he already made great work with his heroes. The Queen is still alive with her ability on the left. And now we have to concentrate on the right though, because there is the Lalo. Down is flying across, triggering a ton of traps. And now he needs to use his freezes for that Town Hall. He's freezing up the Town Hall and the Warden in just a second. There we go. And now the haste spell to get into that Town Hall. The Warden ability still not used either. Another freeze this time around on the Town Hall and the Wizard Tower. And there's the poison just to get those goons out of the Town Hall poison again. Is this going to be enough? The air defense at the bottom side might be a game changer, but there are so many pups on the right side coming in. The NATO trap was completely useless on this Lalo. And it's all about the back end air defense. Can the air defense make some work? But I don't think that this is going to be enough. The Loons are overpowering it, and the Warden slowly is shooting that air defense, even though he's suffering in that poison. And this is going to be a crushing 3-star. Nick has done it. And I mean, this man is just OP, right? Like, this man is incredible. Wait a second. Time. No. I have not jinxed this, right?
Keep an eye out for the clock, Ditsu.
No,
Hold on. Now, the minions are going to be able to swoop in. As long as there's no air bombs, they deal a lot of damage.
Oh, no.
Hold your breath. Can they get it done?
No.
What?
No. Oh, I'm so sorry, Nick.
Heartbreaker for Nick. We called it too soon. Fortune favors the bold,
no.
but you gotta keep pace with the base. Clan Castle right there in the core getting whomped on by those lava pups since the 37-second mark. I think actually the difference might have been that tornado trap catching those 2 lava pups and just slowing them down a little bit, Itsu.
Yeah, maybe. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. 99%. I mean, the opening anyways was just OP. How he was using the golem, the lock launcher just perfectly. But still, it's a good percentage. So SpaceStation is not off the game yet, but they're 1 star behind Lexnos Gaming now. And now Nick on defense has to take the 2-star, has to take the defense to make sure that SpaceStation is still staying in this match as the #1 seed. And we have Lexnos Gaming now starting off with a Warden Walk and then with a huge push into this base.
It just feels like the closest analogy is running a marathon, getting to the very end of it, and right before you pass the finish line, you trip and fall straight on your face. It's gotta hurt, and he has gotta feel nothing but pride with the structure of that attack. It clearly could have gotten the triple, but just a little bit slow on execution there, denied that last strike. Nonetheless, SpaceStation Gaming, with a very strong percentage, are still in this. They just have to get that triple to get back in it against Marcos, but maybe Marcos doesn't even give them the opening. If Garesh gets the 3-star here, they will continue their path far and ahead. It's a very strong start with the heroes kind of walloping across like a pancake smash on the top right side of this big boxed out base, but not at all a source of fear for Garesh, who's just powering straight through the core. But has he taken too big of a hit, Itsu? Can he keep it going?
Oh, that's an interesting question. He's just keep raging, but this Town Hall is dealing so much damage in the single front tower as well. He has not chose to use any freezes so far. Now the first freeze is getting used by this point. The pekka already dead, so I'm not sure if that freeze might have been too late. At the top side we can see the baby dragon, but it's not dealing a ton of damage. Now the invisibility spell to keep those heroes alive at the bottom side with that king, with those witches. The Royal Champion is getting added to the party. And now it's all about the back end. Oh. The healers are staying alive for now. The Royal Champion is still pushing with the Queen, using her ability to push through the max level of that wall. And now he has 1 minute left and 1 freeze. Woody, do you think this is going to be enough?
I do. It's looking pretty good here for Garesh. He has a lot of offensive trickery along the back end, still holding on to that freeze spell in case things seem to go wrong. But yeah, with that Royal Champion being able to target directly onto buildings, a minion locked onto the cannon, which isn't even being engaged by the enemy archer tower, there's just so much firepower still left that this is going to be a smashing success. Congratulations to Garesh. Another big pickup for the Lexnos Gaming squad. Garesh, having picked up a 2-star 98% with his first hit, finds the improvement that his team so strongly wanted. And we'll say it again, you can never go into a war underestimating this Indian lineup. Lexnos Gaming, formerly of the Indian Clashers, have told their fans time and again that they have learned from mistakes, they will persevere and emerge on top. That is what they are showing us through pre-qualifier performance, through their match earlier today against Vitang, and now coming up against the #1 seed, SpaceStation Gaming, and really just smashing them to bits with a great pekka hit. The question could be asked now, is Lexnos Gaming the team to beat?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So far, they have done amazingly in this tournament. So let's see if Lex can lead SpaceStation back into this game. He needs the 3-star to make sure that they're staying in this match, and he's choosing the Zap Lalo. Lalo overall, one of the most strategies in the pre-qualifier. Over the third of the attacks overall were Lalo-based attacks, and this is going to be the lightning combination, trying to get a core, trying to get pathing for the Lalo part. And now he's pushing inside that tunnel with the queen, using the king to push into the scatter compartment to take down the scatter and the royal champion, it seems like. And this is already great value for the Lalo. The Lalo then might get started into the eagle at the top side of that base. Royal champion in there as well. He wants to get a huge push into that compartment. Meanwhile, the queen is dealing with that town hall with her ability, and this so far is looking really great as an opener, but the clan cards now coming out as well.
Fans of SpaceStation Gaming might have justified fears at this point, but their path to victory is not that unthinkable. All they need to do is get back-to-back triples and then hold off on a solid defense against Lexnos Gaming. They've got an advantage in the percentage game, and guess what? Their two strongest attackers are the last two strikers. Lexnos was a recent addition to this lineup, and he has a 99% average destruction with 6 triples out of the 7 attacks that he made in the pre-qualifiers. If anyone is going to bring this thing back, it's Lexnos here and now. A big heavy hit early on, but the stage 2 has just begun. We have got to wait for these triple Lava Hound Loon attacks to go deep into the base with 1:22. Time is starting to be an issue here. Fortunately for Lexnos, he's got an early target onto that Eagle Artillery. Taking down that splash damage nice and quick is extremely important for when these loons get spread out toward the end. But I'm just worried that a multi-target Inferno and Archer Queen are going to be too much for him to deal with. Itsu, what are his chances?
I think the chances are pretty good because he's going to use the Warden and Headhunter combination. So now there are like invincible Headhunters running at that queen, and she has no chance at defending herself. The top side is going down. He's freezing up that multi-inferno tower to make sure his loons are making it in there. And this time it's only Time which has a chance of defending this base. The air defense is shooting as well, but he has 2 haste. So it's like up to him of deciding to use that and try to get a little bit more time on the board. But this so far is looking pretty good. I do not want to call it too early, but I think this is over. This attack is going to be a 3-star no matter what. And this is Lex bringing back SpaceStation. And now we have, Lexnos Gaming. If they're 3-star, they are going to win this match against the number 1 seed team of the pre-qualifier. And if they go into 2-star, well, then SpaceStation Gaming have a chance of coming back into this match depending on their last attack. And we can see the post-attack stats. Really great attack of Lex, taking out the core of this base with the lightnings. Really great usage of his heroes, and then, well, just pushing through the back end with his Lalo, and that was really clean looking. So nicely done. And now it's up to Lexnos Gaming again, Woody.
An awesome hit from Lex, and he has great hair. Some people just have it all, Itsu. I don't know what to say. But let's give Death a chance to strike back, moving beyond the grave. If he can get the triple here, that will actually be enough to secure victory for Lexnos Gaming. With that 1-star advantage, though, they know that it's not enough if they don't pick up the triple or an extremely high 2-star. It's all on the line right here and now, and we know that Death has performed very well in the past. A triple 100% with Mass Inferno Dragons. Didn't bring that same attack comp here, but with an attacker this versatile and so experienced, you gotta give him his due. He's been playing Clash of Clans since the launch of the game. Death is one of the most experienced guys on this lineup, and that's why the Lexnos Gaming team has put him in as the clutch hitter at the very end. He wants that golden ticket, and he wants it now. The triple guarantees advancement to the finals in the upper bracket.
Yeah, but this is not looking too good, to be honest. The Pekka were chasing that defending Ice Golem, and now we're in a compartment where they were not supposed to be in. You can see the jumpster on the right side. That was supposed where the Pekka should walk. And now we have the lock launcher opening, and the Yetis should finally get into that core. The town hall is still staying up. The healers are getting raged up again, so they can heal better those troops. The Pekka is dying, and now it's all about those super wizards and the Yeti on their own to finish off this base. But this is not looking too good. There are no bats or something on the back end. But maybe the Town of Poison is not too threatening, but there is the double red mine. But so far, the healers are staying outside of the range. The Queen is taking a lot of damage, and the Warden as well. And both are dying, sadly, inside the core of this base. And the Royal Champion, I mean, there's 2 ground exposed. The Eagle, Woody, I think that's just way too much for the Royal Champ to handle.
He's just left with too many spells in the back end now. I think that the key move you gotta make when a core is that well defended is just to rage straight through. Do not waste any time. Hope and pray that you can knock down the scatter shots in the Eagle Artillery, and it looks like Death didn't even get that. This was not even really close to a triple, and I hate to say it, but this might actually wind up being the lowest overall damage strike of any attack that we've seen so far today. Marcos Gaming going to be reeling from this staggering loss, really. SpaceStation have gotten exactly what they were hoping for now, and a triple here will certainly be enough to have them victorious over Marcos Gaming on that percentage destruction average. So hats off to Death on a well planned hit, but just ultimately the execution in the core of the base was not enough to finish off a really tough defense. So that's all that you can hope for. Marcos Gaming still in the upper bracket, hoping that they can hold on to their great position from early on, but the door is just wide open for SpaceStation now, Itsu.
Yeah, but Gereticus needs to 3-star. Otherwise, they have no chance. They need those 3-star percentage. No problem. Like, no problem, but the 3-star, that's the importance of this attack. And he's coming in with the Pekka smash. So let's see. Warden Walk in the beginning. Okay, so we can see already what is the plan going to be. He's going to Warden Walk this scatter shot. Then he's going to wall break into the multi-inferno tower. And he is jumping into the core. He has a double jump to get into the back end Eagle as well. And most likely he's going to blimp that tower, because we already said it in the beginning. You just want to avoid the Town of Poison. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's basically playing the smash right next to the Town Hall. But hey, first off, the scatter has to go down, and then the smash can get started. He already created the funnel at the 10 o'clock side, or like 11 o'clock side of this base, raging up the Warden, so things are a little bit quicker. The first wall break is coming in. And I think as soon as this scatter is going down, Woody, we're going to see a huge push into the core of this base.
Now, if you're worried about the slow speed of Archer Queen walks, you've got to know that a Warden walk is even slower with less DPS. But taking out those key defensive structures like scatter shots can really make all the difference for later on in the raid. He's also going to be able to piggyback off that Warden walk into a beautiful dive deep straight into the core with a jump spell to support these troops after having already cracked through the outer layers with that super wall breaker. Battle Blitz goes straight to the Town Hall for the first star to be claimed. The second and third are still far away though, and Gereticus needs them both if he wants to get the win for SpaceStation.
Yeah, there's the second jump pushing through the clan cast, the defending clan cast, one of the most useless clan casts right now in the game with the super minions, which got nerfed so much on turn of 14. And we have the multi-inferno tower though. The multi-inferno tower is beaming on those healers, and you need those healers staying alive. That's one of the key things. And he has 1 freeze left. Is he going to invest that onto the multi-inferno tower to save those healers, or is he just saying, okay, that's totally alright, we have the Royal Champion still left, the ability is getting used now as well, but the healers are dropping, the multi-inferno tower has been taken down. And there's still the one headhunter to take down the enemy king on the back end. The king ability on its own is getting used on offense. And now it's all about the king and the Royal Champion finishing off this base with 1 freeze left, with the Royal Champion ability left, and 1 headhunter. Can he use that headhunter perfectly to make sure that this enemy king is not dealing too much damage to his Royal Champion? Lassie is still tanking. Now he's freezing really early, not even hitting the cannon. And now the headhunter is running. The headhunter is running. Royal Champion ability to take down the rest of this base, and the king is beating on that Royal Champion. The Warden is running in front and tanking. 30 more seconds. Can he somehow make this? With Warden is still tanking. The cannon is surviving. The healers are running as well. But this king is staying alive, and this Woody is not looking like a 3-star.
With the survival of the level 80 Barbarian King sitting atop the hill, Marcos Gaming will secure their defense and ensure advancement. They have done it after all. Gereticus put up a mighty fight, but losing healers in the core to those multi-target infernos and just an uncertain placement on that headhunter at the very end not enough to secure that 3-star, and the upstart Indian squad will prevail yet again.